Hello. Welcome to my Scream 7 review. Please bear with me. Today has been a day called I started watching this movie by accidentally locking my car keys in my car. So I was thinking about that a little bit while watching this movie, but I did not like it. I have not. I should state I'm somewhat new to Scream. I started watching the Scream movies in 2024, I want to say. So I'm fairly new to the franchise, and I really liked the first two, and then the rest of them are just like they continue to get worse in my opinion. Like 3 and 4 are fine. They're just okay. Honestly, I don't remember much about 5, and I fucking hated 6. Like those are my opinions of them, is that they just keep getting worse and worse. And the one thing that made me really excited about this one was that they brought Neve Campbell back, and that she seemed to play a much bigger role in the film than the other ones. Well, at least in terms of like the last two, where she wasn't even in 6. And then she like barely played really that much of a role in 5. So I was like excited to see her more at the forefront in that, but I really didn't like this movie. I felt like I mean, I think Sydney was a nice character in it. I liked what they did with her character in this one. They turned her into like the slightly better version of Laurie from like Halloween 2018. I'm because they keep referencing those two specifically, where it's like they constantly referenced like bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back for the Halloween like reboot, like requel franchise. Like they kept talking about bringing her back for that, and it sort of felt kind of like that, but in like complete opposite directions, where it's like we've already seen the paranoid living off the grid essentially in a bunker Sydney Prescott. So now she's like she's sort of in society, but she definitely takes those measures of safety. Like she's got security cameras everywhere in her house, and she like is still very overbearing of her daughter. She doesn't approve of her daughter's boyfriend because she's like, when I was your age and I had a boyfriend, he tried to kill me, sort of situation. So I sort of liked that about her, and I liked her character. I liked Tatum as a character. I thought she was really really interesting, and I did like her and Sydney's like dynamic as like a mother-daughter situation. I thought that was really interesting, and I did like that. I thought that the relationship with Mark Tatum's dad was fine. Like, of fucking course, Sydney married a goddamn cop. Like, that totally tracks for her that she would marry a cop. And I thought that he was fine. He's definitely like he understands where Sydney's coming from with a lot of her like paranoia and not really wanting to talk about her trauma with Tatum. Like, I understand why Tatum's so curious, and it kind of sucks that you have to hear about your mom's trauma from like books and movies, but like at the same time it's like she obviously doesn't want to talk about when her best friend got murdered and her boyfriend tried to kill her, and then when her half brother tried to kill her, and then when her ex-boyfriend's mom tried to kill her. Like, with all these different stories of people trying to kill her, like obviously she's not really gonna want to get too into that. So I liked that, and that's sort of where my liking of this movie ends. It was just a really boring movie. Like, a lot of the characters had no need to be there. Like, I don't remember their names, but the two characters from 5 and 6, they essentially have no reason to be there. They're just there for the sake of being there, being like, let's relate it back to the other two movies. Or they kept referencing 6, and it like got to a point where it was just really annoying. Like, and honestly, like I don't think it was supposed to be like a stab at Neve Campbell, but it felt like it was, where at one point it's like she should have been in New York. She should have been there for Courtney Cox's character in New York. Like, she should have been there to like help them and support them and stuff like that. And it's like, well, she wasn't there in the first place because the fucking studio wouldn't pay her enough money to be there. I was like, this feels like a dish towards her, which makes no sense because she executive produced this movie. I was like, so you obviously at some point like agreed to these lines, ideally speaking, but it like makes no sense that they keep referencing this movie. I think they're just like, we gotta keep referencing this movie that nobody likes. I certainly didn't like it because I think it's 5 where it's the killers who like are obsessed with like the Ghostface killers and stab and stuff like that come from. And I thought that that was interesting. And then they did the same thing for 6. And I was like, it feels annoying. Like they kind of relate it back to 5 with like 2 of the characters being related to one of the killers in 5, which makes sense. But like, I just was not a fan. It felt, I don't know, repetitive. And in this one, it's like they make it like seems so obvious that Stu's alive that he's obviously not, and I honestly thought it was a bit of a waste of Matthew Lillard. Like, I was excited. I was like, hell yeah. But I honestly wish that they had just brought Stu Macher back from the dead. I feel like I would have liked it more than the reveal that it's like one person who felt liberated by reading Sidney Prescott's book and another person who just happened to be working at the psych ward that the first killer was at and decided to run along with her bullshit. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. It's boring. I guess it's a change in the fact that it's like usually when it comes to Scream, it's like they know the killer. And in this one, it's like one of the killers is Sidney's neighbor. And that's about it. Like, because there are 3 killers. The first killer gets revealed, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's just sort of like that, where it's like, it didn't mesh well. Like, I honestly just wish that they had brought Stu back from the dead. Like, I feel like they did Matthew Lillard so dirty with this movie. I feel like they did Ghostface so dirty with this movie because of that. Like, the opening is so fun, and then the rest of the movie just really dropped off after that. Like, it's boring. We keep going in circles. Like, they keep hinting towards different people. Like, they hark so much on Ben being the killer that it's like, obviously he's not, because they keep harking on it so much. Or they're like, Lucas is probably the killer because he's so creepy and he keeps like being obsessed with Sidney and like the stab movies and stuff like that. And it's like, but then that's also way too obvious. And then it's like, surprise, it's actually Lucas's mom and this random guy that works at a psychiatric facility and this serial killer that was also there at this psychiatric facility. And you're like, wow, so surprising. Oh my god. I was not a fan. So, but I did really like the opening because, like, of course they're gonna turn the Macher house into a fucking Airbnb. Like, that tracks so much. And there were some actually really cool shots with that one, like when, I don't remember the guy that gets killed at the beginning, but like a shot of him like putting on the Ghostface mask and being creepy, and him like in the dark hiding in the background when his girlfriend's like looking for him. And I thought that shot was really, really cool. And they do some interesting shots with like Ghostface hiding in the darkness. Or I did like the one, I think it's Jessica who's that Ghostface, but like her, oh wait, no, it's not. It could be. It's either her or it is Carl, but like the one that like lifts the latch to the attic open and like sneaks down into it. I thought that part was really cool and I liked those bits, but it's just like, I don't know. I wasn't afraid for anybody, and I feel like that honestly just comes from the fact that they spent so long without killing any of the main characters. Like, everyone kept surviving until they finally killed Dewey off, but then it just like, I don't know, they killed off all the teenagers in this one so quickly that then I'm like, well, obviously Tatum's gonna live and Sidney's gonna live, and I guess like maybe Mark's gonna die. That doesn't surprise me if he did. Apparently he didn't die, but it's just like, it didn't feel, I don't know, it was stupid. I really didn't like this movie, and I don't know, I wanted to go into it liking it, and I just really didn't. It also just wasn't funny. Like, I wish, I don't know, I feel like there's no way to bring this movie back to its roots. I feel like they should just stop making them. Like, this franchise has been milked so much to the point where it's like, just live with what you have. Like, it was good up until the fourth one, and then it just like stopped being good and started being annoying, and I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know where else I'm gonna go with this, but it's just like it was fun. It was fine seeing McKenna Grace in another horror movie. I did enjoy listening to an Ice Nine Kills song at the end. I'm like, yes, bring me Ice Nine Kills. I love Ice Nine Kills. I discovered them because of Work of Art. So their Terrifier 3 song, which I still have not seen Terrifier 3. But yeah, they just kept referencing other Scream movies, and I was like, I'd much rather be watching these. And I also found it really funny for the most part that because they do this whole thing with like AI and deep faking and stuff like that. And I did like Lucas's comment about how AI is the like gonna cause the, I don't remember his specific words, but like the end of civilization or the end of like society and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you, AI. But they like keep referencing other movies, but with the AI thing, it's like they're like deep faking as Stu Macher, and then they're deep faking as like Dewey and Billy's mom, and I don't remember his name, but like Sydney's half brother from the third movie. And I find it really funny that the like obviously it's because those people were the closest to Sydney, and this entire movie is about how like Sydney's lost her spark and she's not like a badass anymore or anything like that. Which like she's a fucking mom. It's been what, like literally 30 years since the first one came out. Like of course she's gonna move on. She's 30 years older. But they just kept referencing those, and I was like, I find it funny that they didn't reference movies 4 through 6. Wow. I don't know where else I'm gonna go with this, but I just really didn't like this movie. It was just boring. I don't know. I was bored. Honestly, that's where it comes to. Like, it's not a very long movie either. I think it's like an hour and a half. And I was like, I'm bored. Like, I should not be bored in an hour and a half long horror movie that's not funny. Like, this is supposed to be a horror comedy. That's the whole point of Scream, is that it's a horror comedy, and it's not funny. And I'm bored. There's nothing interesting going on. Like, the reveal of the characters wasn't shocking. Mostly my reveal is like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's not like, oh my god, that's crazy. It's like, why? Like, I would have been okay with the younger teenage friends being the killers. I would have been okay with like Mark being a killer or some shit and playing the long game, but the fact that it's like 3 people that like the only person we truly interact with for a really long time is Jessica, like just it was so annoying. I hope they don't make any more after this movie, but I feel like they will. But yeah, I was just not a fan. So I don't know. I think those are all my thoughts. Like I said, I wanted to like this movie, and I truly didn't. Could it have been the fact that I was thinking about my car keys being locked in my car this whole time? Maybe, but I don't think so. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, let me know if you've seen Scream 7, what your thoughts on it were. We all know what mine are. So, yeah, like, subscribe. Bye bye.